All right, so welcome to the level 5 shot. Let's just go through the changes that we will be making in this. Our gear will remain the same. As far as the settings and composition is concerned, a major change is coming inside our composition, which is here. So we're going closer to fill the frame, okay? The environment will remain the same. So we're not doing anything with the background and those conditions remain the same, okay? Also, this is something we've not really talked about till now because you saw I was taking very bland poses and it was just our focus was on other things for the first time. Okay, I will at least give a basic pose. So what we're going to do here is we're going to avoid shooting in square pose. So square pose is the pose that I have been giving till now. That means I'm literally standing right in front of the camera. Okay, there's no depth to my body. I'm not tilting my body in any way. I'm right in front of the camera in a square position. Okay, so both my shoulders are basically facing left and right and I'm looking straight at the camera. That's called a square pose. I'll talk more about that when we actually see the shot. So at least I'm going to give a slightly different pose, which is just going to add a bit more of depth in this shot. Okay, so at least we'll start to get more of these things going on together. Let's go and take the shot and then let's analyze the shot. All right, so this time as explained to you, the main difference is I have moved in closer and this whole shot is filling the frame. It's not too much of negative space. The settings pretty much are similar, but this is going to make a huge change. Let's analyze this particular shot. All right, so this is the shot that we have got and you can immediately see that everything in the shot just seems more emphatic. Right from the blur in the background to just the subject which has now filled the frame. And this looks like, yes, this shot was made for the subject deliberately, that this subject is the most important part in this shot, and that's exactly what a portrait is. If you could compare it with this last shot, it's still, yes, we had a good blur here. It still did not have that portrait look, which now we are, for the first time, we are just beginning to get. Okay, and here you can also see like the pose. I'll talk about the background in just some time from now, but let's just clarify the pose thing. So this is the square pose. You can see here I'm just straight in front of the camera, but here you can see I've just slightly tilted my body. Okay, and usually that's a very, very popular way of just having a basic pose where you just ask your model to slightly tilt and then turn their body, okay, towards the camera. So it just also one of the things that it does is whenever you shoot someone square, they might just seem more bulky, okay, when you shoot them square. But the moment you ask them to like turn and twist their body towards the camera, they just automatically become leaner. Okay, in this case, probably you are not able to make that out because we've gone really close to the subject, but that usually is the case. Okay. Now, secondly, it also just adds more depth through it because you have more light, let's say on this side, and then less light on this side. So it's just like a transition from highlights to shadows. Whereas if you're just standing square, light might just be pretty much even on both sides of the face. Of course, that will also depend on the angle of the lighting. Okay, but just thought I'll point these things out. But the main thing here is just check out the difference in the background. Yes, we had a blur here, but just see the blur here. You can't even make out the kind of plants we've got here, whereas here you could. It was still much sharper, but here we really get a nice blurred background. But this is still not enough, okay, because remember we are still shooting on the 35mm lens. If we had a higher focal length, this background behind would be so compressed that not only would we be getting such a beautiful blur, but also this area itself would be very less and we'll just be seeing like a nice green blur behind. Okay, so we're going to talk about all that in the later levels. So I hope that you like the levels till now. Let's just quickly, before we close this video, at least just go through the levels that we have seen so far and just see the change that we have been able to produce. We started off from this level 1, then it was level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. That's a huge change. I hope that you're liking this course. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.